morning. My name is Bhargavi and I am a BTech student. Today I am presenting my MENSTACK internship project completed under the WSC internship program. This presentation will walk and through the project. I build the technologies I used and the key learnings I gained during this internship. The project is titled Food Order System and it is complete full stack web application. Over the next few minutes, I will explain the goals, architecture, implementation, and results of this project. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my work. And my second module that comes internship overview. I completed my MENSTACK internship with the main objectives of learning full stack web development. The internship was not focused on only on theory, but on practical, hands-on experience. I was experienced to work on a real-time project that involved both front-end and back-end development. This approach helped me understand how modern web applications are built in the industry. During the internship, I learned how to connect the user interface with server logic and a database. This emphasis was on understanding front end and back end integration. And my third module is goals of an internship. I set four specific technical goals for my internship. The first goal was to learn React from front end development. React allows us to build dynamic component based user interface that are fast and interactive. The second goal was to learn Node.js and Express for backend development. These tools let us create powerful servers and REST APIs. The third goal was to work with MongoDB database, which is a NoSQL database used to store application data in a flexible format. The final and most important goal to combine all three technologies to build a complete web application from scratch. These goals guided my learning and project development throughout the internship. My fourth module is what is full stack development? Food order system. The project I choose to build is called the food order system. It simulates the basic online food ordering platform. The idea was to implement the core features that any e commerce or food delivery app would need. The application allows new users to register and existing users to log in. Once logged in, users can browse a list of available items. They can select items and add them to a cart, just like a real applications like Zomato or Swiggy. I also implemented a complete password management system. This includes both a forgot password, features for recovery, and an update password feature for security. This project covers the full user authentication and shopping workflow. And my fifth module that comes under MEN stack. Let me explain the main features in detail. First, we have user sign up and login. This ensures that only authenticated users can access the system. I use a JWT token to manage sessions securely. Second is the view food items future. The futures, the front end fetches this data from the backend APIs and displays it as a list of cards. This is the add to card functionality. When your user clicks the button, the item is stored in their cart, both on the front end state and in the database. Finally, the password reset functionality has two parts. If a user forgets the password, they can request a reset link. After verification, they can use the update password page to set a new password. The features make the app functional and secure. And my sixth module that comes under project overview or project architecture. The application follows a standard three-tier architecture. The layer is the presentation layer, which is our React frontend. This is what the user sees and interacts with in the browser. When a user performs an action like logging in, the React app sends an HTTP request to the middle layer. This is the application layer built with Node.js and Express. The Express server receives the request, runs business logic, and decides what to do. If data is needed, it communicates with the third layer under data layer. This is our MongoDB database. The database sends the data back to Express, which then sends a response to React. This clear separation makes the system organized and scalable. And my Seventh module that comes under the project architecture, which I can develop by using front end, back end, and database. And eighth module that comes under back end implementation. The backend was built using Node.js and Express. I created a set of REST APIs to handle all the core operations. This sign up API accepts user details, validates them, hashes the password using bycrypt, and stores the user in MongoDB. The login API checks the email and password, and if correct, it generates a JWT token and sends it to the client. I also built a forgot password API. It generates a unique time limited token and would email it to the user. The update password API verifies the token and allows the user to set a new password. All APIs were built following REST conventions and tested thoroughly with Postman to ensure reliability. And my ninth module that comes under front-end implementation by using UI user interface using React and food item components, displayed product by an example of pizza and integrated backend APIs. And my 10th module that comes under the project demo. Let me walk you through how the application works. First, a new user lands on the sign up page and creates an account. The React app sends the data to the sign up API. After successful registration, the user is redirected to the login page. Once logged in, the JWT token is stored and the user sees the home page which with all food items displayed. This data comes from the backend API. The user can click add to card on any item. The UI updates immediately and the backend saves this choice. If a user forgot their password, they can use the forgot password link to start the recovery process. This demonstrates the complete end-to-end flow of the application. This is the challenges as I faced during my implementation of a project. And here come the 12th module is learnings, key learnings and challenges. The internship was a huge learning experience. Technically, I improved my JavaScript skills and learned the MERN stack in depth. I now understand React state management, Express middleware, and MongoDB queries. The most important learning was API integration and understanding how data flows through a full stack application. I also faced challenges. The first was implementing a secure authentication with the JWT. The second was fixing course errors that occurred when React called the Express servers. I solved these by reading official documentation and testing configuration step by step. Overcoming these challenges gave me confidence and real problem solving skills that I will use in my career. And here come the conclusion module. To conclude, I successfully completed my internship by building a full stack food order system. The project met all the initial goals and is fully functional. I implemented user authentication, food item display, cart management, and password recovery. This project took me from learning individual technologies and integrating them into a real product. I am now confident in my ability to develop and debug MENStack applications. For future scope, I would like to add a payment gateway integration using Stripe. I would also add an admin panel to manage food items and an order history page for users. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I am ready to answer your questions.